A lot of men have wanted to date me for a relationship in the 11 years I've been single. I don't think I really have ever really talked about that. I usually talk about I haven't met anyone I want to date. And I was just watching a video from the gentleman I recommended in my last video who was going into all the women who wanted to marry him, but he didn't want to marry them. And I'm like, oh my God, so many guys have wanted to date me, and I was not interested in them. I wasn't interested in them because I thought they were boring. They had boring jobs. They were just boring. Like, a bunch of guys who were like programmers. They were programmers. They come home, they barbecue, and then they go back to work the next day. Or guys in their 50s who had like a toddler child from like an affair they had after their divorce, or guys that I thought were lame in bed, not good in bed, or guys who I thought were unattractive. I wasn't attracted to them. Mostly they were boring, or they were super needy, or they were just super old or super ugly. Like I thought they were ugly. Um, there have been quite a few actually who wanted to date me. But, I've already been married. I've been there and I've done that. And so I'm very choosy. That is the thing. And this video that this guy just made, I'm going to link it. He had a lot of negative comments on his video about why he isn't dating right now, how hard it is to date after 50. Because what he comes across is women who want to marry him because they want half of his shit. They're homeless, they're financially needy, they're drug addicts, like they got nothing going on. What mom men really like a woman who works and goes to school like the younger women. Men love a woman who works and goes to school, who's got something going on, who's ambitious. Don't believe the stuff that men don't care what you do for work. Those are just control freaks who are just trying to get in your pussy. When guys are just trying to get in your pussy, they don't care what you do. They just want to see you as a piece of meat. But men who are looking for a relationship, they love a woman who's got stuff going on. And I love a guy who's got stuff going on. Men also like a woman who's attractive. I like a guy who's attractive. But I already was married. I've done that. So I'm looking for a guy who's also interesting. And men would always tell me, oh my God, Charzad, you're so interesting and you're so beautiful. And I would always think, but you're not interesting and you're not beautiful. I want to feel that way about someone. And so, I mean, there are a lot of guys. The guys who are interesting and hot, there are not that many of them out there. They're kind of outliers and they can get any woman they want. So, probably what would be more accurate to say is that the men who've caught my eye over the years ended up being married, even if there were no ring. They wore no ring. Like, I remember early on after my divorce, I decided I was going to start asking men for coffee because someone I had hooked up with said, yeah, you should ask guys out. And so I met it, and these were guys in their 50s actually. They were age appropriate. One I met at CrossFit, one I met, he was helping his son move into the neighborhood. And I asked both of them out for coffee, and neither one of them was wearing a ring. They were there all alone. There was no woman around. They both said they were married. And the one, he stood outside by his BMW after the CrossFit. He was just staring at me like wishing that he wasn't married. I know. And then the other one, when he helped his son move in, and then the wife came out of the house. So I knew he was married. And then the next day, the son told me that all of his friends, um, female friends, thought that his dad was so hot. And he was. He was in his 50s at the time. I've noticed that before too. Like one time I was out at a restaurant and I saw this guy who was so attractive. I thought, oh my God, this guy, and he's age appropriate. There's something about him. And then this woman came out of the bathroom. I'm like, do I have a thing for married men? But I looked, he had no ring on his finger. So I think I just pick up on their relationship energy. And there's certain men that are players. I've also come across men who were like players who used women, like women that I knew who were like entitled or liars or people pleasers or um, just boring. And my ex-husband was a pretty decent guy. The only thing wrong with him is that he was kind of afraid to delve into more of his personal life, the emotional part. the emotional development, and that involved sex, and it just really, really just broke my heart at the end. I was unhappy with the sexual part of our relationship, and I was like not okay with that anymore. So, um, finding someone better than him shouldn't be that hard, but it is. And no, I don't want him back, but it's just that my standards are pretty high. That's the problem. It's not that men don't want me. This problem is me finding someone that I want. And I'm not going to apologize for being choosy. Just like the gentleman in the video, which I'm going to link, he kind of got a little upset with people saying, like, what's wrong with you that you're not married? You've never been married or whatever. And there's nothing really wrong. It's just that there are a lot of really unhealthy people in the world. And I think that it's just harder to find someone like, if you have standards, and you're not needy, finding somebody is going to take a little bit longer. I mean, there are people who are always getting into a relationship, and these relationships don't last long. Like the guy I was talking to on the phone the other day, he was just in a relationship. It was a shit show with this woman who moved in, and she was basically homeless. He finally just threw and the guy in the video with this woman who slept 16 hours a day. One time when she was visiting her family, he just put all of her stuff on the porch. Like, I'm done with you. Like, so a lot of people there's a lot of very unhealthy people out there. So I would need somebody who's healthy and who's interesting and like an outlier. If I can't have someone like that, I'd rather be alone. And a lot of people aren't choosing to be alone. And I think that's better to be happy alone than be with someone just to be with someone. So the problem really is there's a shortage of high quality single people out there after 50, because the high quality single people get married like I got married. Women like me don't usually divorce. It's pretty rare for women like me to divorce because it takes a lot of courage to break out on your own, leave your family, face the sort of social humiliation of divorcing. Yeah, so men have wanted to date me. There were a number of successful men in their 70s who wanted to date me, but I was never interested in them. They're just too scrawny. They don't have the muscle power and the primal strength that I still desire, even though they had super hard cocks and were good in bed. Kinda. I just not into guys in their 70s. So if I really wanted to marry, I could easily get a guy in his 70s, because maybe even in his 60s, because there are not that many women in their 60s who are still fit, happy, got their shit together, and are attractive, and so, and a lot of younger guys do like me, but I think they just want to fuck me. So there's something wrong with me. It's just that um, I just think that there's a shortage of interesting men in Southern California. That's what I think, is the reason that I'm not dating. I know in other countries, men are a lot more aggressive. Like, they'll ask women out. But here they don't. And by the way, there are a couple guys at the gym. They are black guys, super aggressive, who try to get my name or try to talk to me. I'm not interested. I just don't like their energy. But guys talk to me at the gym, like in the sauna, in the steam room. It's a co-ed, which is nice. They talk to me, and I talk to them. So I think my best chances of meeting someone to date, if I ever do, is just starting conversations with someone at the gym, and the conversation just goes well enough to where some guy is like, hey, you want to grab a coffee? And we just start a friendship. I think a gym is a really good place to meet people. But yeah, I think at the gym, though, it's guys don't really want to ask someone out, maybe. But these black guys are super aggressive. I don't like it when guys are like, I just didn't like their energy, and I kind of do like white guys, to be honest with you. And there are not that many white guys in San Diego anymore. I like white guys, frankly, and it's hard to find white guys. When I was in Nebraska, in the Midwest, in Omaha, where I grew up, oh my God, I see so many hot white guys. San Diego, not that many. A lot of dark-skinned people. Nothing wrong with that, just not my preference for dating or sexual attraction. Um, so yeah, I yes, there are men that want to date me, and even men who leave comments like, "Oh, you're so hot." I mean, that's not enough. You have to like a woman for more than that she's hot. You have to see how she can add to your life and you can add to her life and actually be around women you can actually go out with. I would say that the men that are my bookkeeping clients, they really like me, and that's why, you know, that's my main business. So I'm not going to like people who are like, oh, you're just so mean. I have really good boundaries, and men who are afraid of my boundaries are men I don't want because they are controlling or entitled. And the men that I like that are like really manly and confident, they just look at me and they just laugh. They just think I'm funny. It doesn't even faze them. They're like, oh my God, Charizard, you're funny. Your boundaries, you're cute when you get mad. They just laugh it off because I'm not mean to them at all. I just have my boundaries. I'm like, I don't want riffraff guys contacting me for free. And you know what they say? They're like, why would you? That's what real men say. When I say I don't want to give guys free attention, they're like, you shouldn't. Why would you? Or when I tell my bookkeeping clients I don't fuck guys for free, and they're like, yeah, why would you? That's what real men say. Not these little baby trolls that leave comments like whining that they're not getting free attention. But most of the guys watching my channel, they get it. And I think that the guys watching my channel, they also struggle with the same thing. Like, where can I find a woman who is emotionally stable and financially self sufficient? Because they don't want to be a caretaker. They don't want drama. They don't want to be a caretaker. You know, guys don't want that. Healthy men want a woman who's happy, who's got her own life, who's got her own money. And guys who say, I don't care about a woman's money, they're just the guys that just want to fucking slide their dick in. But men looking for a relationship, they care about that because they're thinking with more than just their dick. They're thinking about how can I live with this woman, go out with this woman, be with this woman. They want someone who's interesting, who's got her own stuff going on, who makes her own money. They don't want to be a caretaker. Um, yeah. So I just wish that more men who were unhappily married would get divorced, and that men who are people pleasers would grow some balls, and then there would be a lot more men out there for me.